Hey, it's Kyle here, and I'm excited to review the newest episode of The Bad Batch, Tipping Point. But if you haven't watched the episode yet, please watch it first because this review will include spoilers. With that running away, let's get talking about Tipping Point. First off, I'll say The Bad Batch has been on an absolute roll. The last several weeks has been some of the best episodes in the series in general. They've been really nailing it with the episodes. And I think in a few cases, and I think for this week as well, I think the Bad Batch episode, you could argue, was actually better than the Mandalorian episode. And not saying the Mandalorian episode was bad, I think the Mandalorian episode was really good. Since the Bad Batch episode it's been great several weeks. I mean, they're on an absolute roll. And actually, they're a little bit unfair advantage because they're towards the end of the season when the Mandalorian just started. But still, all props to the Bad Batch team. Y'all are making some amazing episodes. But let's get started about talking about Tipping Point. And I really enjoyed this episode a lot. I liked that we got to see some of Crosshair and the rest of the batch. You know, so far this season, the formula had been when we have a Crosshair episode, we don't see the rest of the batch. But this episode, we got a little bit of both, which I think is a signal, like, one, their storylines are beginning to intertwine and connect. And, you know, hopefully, maybe fingers crossed, maybe this is a sign that Crosshair maybe might be coming back towards the batch. Maybe we'll get some sort of happy ending to this storyline. I'm not sure. I'm a little pessimistic on what will happen with Crosshair, but I think it'd be great if he could have a redemption story and come back with the batch. But the episode itself, we start off seeing, I think, a lot of people's favorite clone from early in the year, Hauser, being escorted by the Imperials and some other clones as a prisoner onto a ship. And as they're leaving the planet, there's a rescue attempt. And we see Echo. We see what Echo's been up to. The ship that Echo's on is one of the coolest ship designs I've seen in Star Wars. It was amazing. I hope we see it more. It was really cool. How the rescue was pulled off was great. And they do manage to save Hauser and the other clones and get out of there before they're caught. And they're able to steal some data, but they're not able to kind of interpret it, I guess is the best way to phrase it. So Echo says, like, well, I have a friend that can do this. And I think everybody was like, oh, I wonder if he's going to go back to the batch. And sure enough, then we go to the batch on Pagu, and Echo shows up. And, of course, Tex is Tech Man, and they get started on that. Before that, there was a neat little scene of Tech teaching Omega how to fly their ship, which I thought was really cool. Tech definitely seemed like a scared parent teaching a kid how to drive a car, so that was a very funny moment, and overall more of a serious episode. The data, they find out that the Imperials have basically been sending dissident clones to a mysterious location, and I think they find out Crosshair is there. So obviously, I think which everybody I thought was going to go that way, that we were going to end up with the batch ending up at Mount Tantus at some point. On the Imperial side, I think that's kind of what they want, because they're trying to track down Omega. So they would probably love that the batch just come to their front door so they can capture it. I'm sure they think it's going to be an easy job. On the Crosshair side of the storyline, you see Crosshair is basically being tortured to try to get him to reveal info about where the Imperials can find the Bad Batch and Omega. I honestly don't think he really knows where they're at, but I think he does have maybe a couple ways maybe to contact them. But I think he doesn't want to. He doesn't want to be disloyal to his brothers. I think it's clear he's made that decision. During the torture attempt, he escapes and is able to send a signal that the batches are able later to find out about, and that helps them figure out that Crosshair is a part of this prisoner program the Imperials are doing. The thing about the escape attempt that Crosshair did was successful for a little bit, and then the Imperials caught him. I have a couple theories on that. One, the technician that was overseeing it, as several people have pointed out, has a New Zealand accent, which is what the clones all have. And she seemed to be a little bit sloppy with the examination, and she kind of left a binding loose. So did she set it up so Crosshair could escape? She was trying to help him out. Or on the device of the other side, was that part of a plan to on the Imperial side, let's let Crosshair think he's escaping, and maybe he'll send a signal or something to the batch, and we can either get them to come here or track it or something like that. I don't know. I'm hoping it's more she's maybe secretly trying to help out the Crosshair, but I guess we'll see. But overall, really enjoyed this episode here. Obviously, this is leading, I think, to a big showdown at Mount Tantus. Dr. Hemlock is an amazing villain. I think by far he's my favorite villain in the Batch series so far. He is absolutely amazing, pure evil. There was one scene where he's talking to Tarkin, and he mentions he thinks he has a solution to the clones, and Tarkin says, present it at the summit, and it somewhat reminded me of the moment in our real history where the Nazis had a conference and the final solution was proposed for the Jewish problem. So I think this series is going into a very dark place, which Star Wars does that sometimes. It's not all light and fun. So hopefully Hemlock doesn't meet a happy end in this series, because if anybody needs something bad to happen, I think it's Hemlock. But overall, that's my thoughts on the episode Tipping Point. I really enjoyed it. A serious episode, but still very entertaining. Let me in the comment section below know what you thought. If you enjoyed this review, please hit that like button. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate the support. Thanks for watching. I'll see you the next time, and may the Force be with you.